Hi everyone. So I wanted to run you through my final project, which is a Madlib class that is recreating the Madlibs that exist in the little books, where you respond to a prompt with some blanks, with like categories of adjectives and nouns to create a story that you kind of half wrote, but was also half pre-written. So naturally, the way to do that is by using the scanner for a lot of user input. And the main issues that I had based on the main demands of this project were evaluating user input and responding to wrong types or like out of bounds responses. So I'll just run you through, I'll run the program once and not go into too many details and keep it big picture. So the first thing I do is Okay. Okay, sorry about that. The first thing I do is I accidentally copy and paste this thing at the last minute. So I run the program and we get a welcome message. Welcome to Java Madlibs. Which theme would you like to choose? You're supposed to choose one or two for the future theme or the food theme. And if you choose anything else, let's say like I write out two, it says no, you really have to just type one or two. And the way I do that is by writing a do while loop to check, to evaluate if the response has a next int. And that's how we get to this result of that message. So let's say the difference between writing in 1 and 2, like what is that in the code? Well, after we check to make sure our input has an int value, I set an if-then-else statement up to run one theme if they enter 1, and the second theme, theme number 2, in the other block of the if-then-else statement. So that's just one way that I incorporated that decision code writing into the design of a Madlib so that they have options. So let's pretend I'm doing this Madlib. So I'll enter 2. This is the food theme. And I respond to all these questions mainly with string inputs and then some integer inputs. And each time my input is stored in a variable, and all those variables come into play when I create another string variable that displays the theme with all those blanks filled in with all my responses. So let's say Aunt Trisha. For relative, add an adjective, I'll say crazy. Add a noun, I'll say surprise. Last thing I ate was, I'll say cashews. Enter spice, cumin. An herb, oregano. I'm just kind of like blasting through these so that I can show you guys the result. But yeah, you can see that this is a lot of string inputs on the user. But then what'll happen here is I have another do while loop. So if someone enters, if they're just like breezing through and they enter another word, or even if they enter a number in the word format like 30, we catch that by seeing that it doesn't have an int and then making sure that they type a correct response. So another herb, I'll say, that's not an herb. Okay, so now that I've entered all these results, we see we have this story. Thanks for stopping by the kitchen. I'm glad you could come by because we were going to make Aunt Trisha's crazy surprise. We're going to start with cashews and coat that in some cumin, combine some oregano, pine nuts, and broccoli, and if you can't grow your own, store-bought is fine. So yeah, this is the resulting Madlib, and then I ask them to rate their satisfaction. If they enter a number that's less than 1 or greater than 5, we have this, I throw an error message for them. But if they enter a number that is greater than 3 and less than 6, so 4 or 5, that's a success. I print out, that's great, thanks for submitting your answers. If they print out something else, a 1 or a 2, I say, oh no, compile again and try the other theme. And they can just compile again and write the other number when prompted for a theme.